excuse me. This your van?
I drive it for my boss.
Okay. Why don't you put your plants down? You got some ID?
Sure.
Thank you. Dustin Henry, we need to talk to you. Let's take a ride.
What are you doing? I'm the owner here. What's going on?
Parking violations.
So he'll be back soon, right? I got a half dozen deliveries.
You're gonna have to make them yourself, sir.
I'm sorry I parked in the terminal. I'll be more than happy to pay a ticket.
This is a lot bigger than a ticket. Why'd you sneak past security?
I had to catch my sister before she got on the plane.
Your sister? You two have different last names.
She changed her name for modeling.
Why was Brenna going to Washington?
She had a job there.
You busted through security to stop your sister from taking a modeling gig.
I was supposed to feed the cat when she was gone, and she forgot to leave me the key.
So why not just give you the key and go on and catch her flight?
Because she couldn't find it. Anyway, it was just a catalog shoot. She decided it wasn't worth it.
When was the last time you talked to her?
I dropped her off at her apartment.
What about the Saturday before?
I was at a party with Brenna.
Where?
Gracie Mansion.
Pretty fancy. Who invited you?
No one, really. We crashed it. Brenna heard that there were gonna be famous people there, and it, sounded like fun.
You and Brenna, you had an argument when you were there?
I wanted to leave, and she didn't want to go yet. I mean, it wasn't anything.
Brenna's dead.
What? When?
She was murdered Monday night. You know anyone who might have wanted to hurt her?
Where were you that night?
I was at home by myself. Is my sister really dead?
Sorry.
Saying he has 2 juvie arrests in Florida at the foster home he was placed. And a year ago, EMTs transported him to Bellevue after he OD'd on pills.
And now add 2 security breaches to his resume. He sounds unstable.
Well, he was acting possessive at the party. How can we be sure that he and Brenna are even related?
Well, let's pull Dustin back in, hear what he has to say about the senator and his sister.
I grabbed Brenna when she was talking to the senator because she was embarrassing herself. She was drunk.
You were just looking out for her.
Yes, exactly. It's so much easier talking to you than those other guys. It's a really nice jacket you're wearing.
You and your sister didn't grow up together. You were put in foster care when you were 14. Why's that?
There's problems at home. So what difference does that make?
Problems between you and Brenna? When she was talking to the senator, you wanted to protect her.
It wasn't a big deal.
I think it was. I think you were a little jealous.
Jealous?
Brenna was, what, 17 when you were removed from your home? Maybe she was rocking that body around the house, working those modeling moves. Am I making you nervous now, Dustin?
No.
Then look at me. What happened in Florida? Were you involved with her sexually? You were kids experimenting, maybe? No, Justin, you can talk to me. I won't judge you no matter what you tell me. Is that why you were put in foster care? Your mother found out about you and Brenna and threw you out? When you saw your sister flirting with that old man, it must have done a number on you. You wanted to hook up with her that night, didn't you?
You got a dirty mouth. I'm not talking to you anymore.
That's a strange young man.
You make this about incest.
Well, he doesn't have to be sleeping with her to be jealous.
He was the last person seen with Brenna the night she was killed.
Nothing in the van, no prints on the weapon.
And it would be nice to get a look in his apartment.
Well, he breached airport security. No judge in his right mind would refuse to give you a warrant.
Check this out.
Well, he knows it's vino.
The wine magazine's in here.
Luce, there's a receipt for Wolford fishnets, just like the ones we found on his sister's dresser.
That's kind of creepy. Hey, B.
Yeah.
That's kitty litter.
Maybe he tracked that in from Brenna's apartment.
And that looks like blood. I guess we know who the cats saw. Bad news, kid. We're charging you with killing your sister.
I didn't touch my sister.
But you wanted to touch her.
God. Oh my God.
What's this motion, Mr. Dibbins?
My client is moving to suppress the blood evidence as well as the lingerie receipt found by the police in his apartment.
The police had a search warrant.
The warrant affidavit implied that the police were investigating terrorism after the FBI had already ruled it out.
The state's entitled to make its own determination. The Queen's DA had already arraigned the defendant.
For trespass.
At an airport, after he had breached security at the mayor's residence the week before. What if we didn't follow through and something had happened?
All right, I've heard enough. Neither the FBI nor the Queen's DA found any evidence that Mr. Henry had ties to terrorist organizations. Mr. Dibbins, is your client okay?
Incarceration has been difficult on him, Your Honor. He's under suicide watch.
Well, what disturbs me more than the threat of terrorism is the misuse of that word to bypass due process. I'm granting the defendant's motion.